Gurudev, 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 Jaya, Jaya. Jagat Prabhupada ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. So, dear devotees, so Mr. Prabhu assigned me this the sloka number Isopanishad 8. So I will do the first sloka, synonymous, and then I go the translation and purport, and then we discuss all together. So that's why we do the combined study and make a progress. Saparyag chakuram akayam avaranam ashanaviram shodam apapam vidho avira manasi prabhu swayambhuro yatha tathayato arthan Vivadayaka chasvati bhayo samabhayo. Synonymous word by word. Saha, that person. Paryaga, must know in fact. Ashukaram, the omnipotent. Akayam, unembodied. Avaranam, without reproach. Asanavidam, without offense. Sudam, an antiseptic. Apapvedam, prophylactic. Kavihi, omnipotent. Manasi, philosophers. Paribhu, the greatest of all. Swayambhu, self-sufficient. Yathat, yathataya, just in pursuance of. Arthan, desirables. Vivadhayat, awards. Sasavitaha, immemorables. Samayabha, time. Translation by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki Jai. Such a person must factual know the greatest of all, the personality of Godhead, who is unembodied, omnipotent, beyond reproach, without whence, pure and uncontaminated, the self-sufficient philosopher, who has been fulfilling everyone's desire since time immemorial. So this is all the symptoms and qualities of the Krishna. We see the Isopanishad telling that his devotee and Krishna's how to understand his the potency. So let's see the purport, what Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Here is the descriptions of the transcendental and eternal form, purport by His Divine Grace Prabhupada ki Jai. Here is the descriptions of the transcendental and eternal form of absolute personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is not formless. He has his own transcendental form, which is not at all similar to the forms of mundane world. The forms of the living entities in this world are embodied in material nature, and they work like any material machine. The anatomy of material body must have mechanical construction with veins and so forth. But the transcendental body of Supreme Lord has nothing like veins. It is clearly stated that He is unembodied, which means that there is no difference between His body, His soul, nor He is forced to accept a body according to the law of nature, as we are. In material conditioned life, the soul is different from the gross, embodied, and subtle mind. For the Supreme Lord, however, there is never any such difference between Him, His body, His mind, His complete whole, and His mind, body, and He Himself are all one and the same. Any voluntary devotee want to take the paragraph second? Otherwise, we continue.
I can take it. In the Brahma Samhita, there is a similar description of the Supreme Lord. He is described there is a Sat Chit Anand Vigrah, which means that he is the eternal form, fully representing transcendental existence, knowledge, and bliss. As such, he does not require a separate body or mind, as we do in a material existence. The Vedic literature clearly states that Lord's transcendental body is completely different from ours. Thus, he is sometimes described as a formless. This means that he has no form like ours, and that he is devoid of a form we can conceive of. In Brahma Sahita 5.32, it is further stated that with each and every part of his body, he can do the work of the other senses. This means that his Lord can walk with his hands, accept the things with his leg, see his hands up. I moved something. See his hands, accept things with the legs, see his hands and the feet, eat with his eyes, etc. In the Shruti mantra, it is also said that although the Lord has no hands and legs like ours, he has a different types of hands and legs by which he can accept all that we offer him and run faster than anyone. These points are confirmed in this 8th mantra through the use of words like sukram, omnipotent.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Any volunteer want to go next paragraph?
I'll read, Prabhu.
Yes, please.
The Lord's worshipable form, Archavigra, which is installed in temple by authorized acharyas who have realized the Lord in terms of mantra 7, is non-different from the original form of the Lord. The Lord's original form is that of Shri Krishna, and Shri Krishna expands himself into an unlimited number of forms, such as Baldeva, Rama, Narsimha, and Varaha. All of these forms are one and the same personality of Godhead. Similarly, the Archa Vigraha, worshipped in temples, is also an expanded form of the Lord. By worshipping the Archa Vigraha, one can at once approach the Lord, who accepts the service of a devotee by his omnipotent energy. The Archa Vigraha of the Lord descends at the request of the acharyas, the holy teachers, and works exactly in the original way of the Lord by virtue of the Lord's omnipotence. Foolish people who have no knowledge of Sri Isopanishad or any of the other Shruti mantras consider the Archa Vigra, which is worshipped by pure devotees, to be made of material elements. This form may be seen as material by the imperfect eyes of foolish people or Kanishta adhikaris. But such people do not know that the Lord, being omnipotent and omniscient, can transform matter into spirit and spirit into matter as he desires.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Anyone wants to go next paragraph?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, I can do.
Yes, Mataji, please. Just. You know where we are? I'm highlighting here. If you are referring to the screen.
Okay, thank you. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord regrets the fallen condition of men with little knowledge who deride him because he descends like a man into this world. Such poorly informed persons do not know the omnipotence of the Lord. Thus, the Lord does not manifest himself in full to the mental speculators. He can be appreciated only in proportion to one's surrender to him. The fallen condition of the living entities is due entirely to forgetfulness of their relationship with God.
Anyone wants devotee go the next paragraph?
Yes,
I'll read
Prabhuji. Okay.
You want to read, Mataji? Go ahead.
No, Mataji, you can go ahead. I will read next part.
Okay. In this mantra, as in many other Vedic mantras, it is clearly stated that the Lord has been supplying goods to the living entities from time immemorial. A living being desires something, and the Lord supplies the object of that desire in proportion to one's qualification. If a man wants to be a high court judge, he must acquire not only the necessary qualifications, but also the consent of the authority who can award the title of high court judge. The qualifications in themselves are insufficient for one to occupy the post. It must be awarded by some superior authority. Similarly, the Lord awards enjoyment to living entities in proportion to their qualifications. But good qualifications in themselves are not sufficient to enable one to receive awards. The mercy of the Lord is also required.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for reading it. Please go ahead, next paragraph.
Ordinarily, the living being does not know what to ask from the Lord, nor which post to seek. When the living being comes to know his constitutional position, however, he asks to be accepted into the transcendental association of the Lord in order to render transcendental loving service unto him. Unfortunately, living beings under the influence of material nature ask for many other things, and they are described in the Bhagavad Gita 2.41 as having divided or split intelligence. Spiritual intelligence is one, but mundane intelligence is diverse. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7.5.30 and 31, it is stated that those who are captivated by the temporary beauties of the external energy forget the real aim of life, which is to go back to Godhead. Forgetting this one tries to adjust things by various plans and programs, but this is like chewing what has already been chewed. Nonetheless, the Lord is so kind that He allows the forgetful living entity to continue in this way without interference. Thus, the mantra of Sri Isopanishad uses the very appropriate word yatha athyatah, indicating that the Lord rewards the living entities just in pursuance of their desire. If a living being wants to go to hell, the Lord allows him to do so without interference. And if he wants to go back home, back to Godhead, the Lord helps him. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Anyone wants to go the next paragraph?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, please go
Hare
ahead.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam, all praise to Srila Prabhupada. God is described here as Paribhuha, the greatest of all. No one is greater than or equal to him. Other living beings are described here as beggars who ask goods from the Lord. The Lord supplies the things and things the living entities desire. If the entities were equal to the Lord in potency, if they were omnipotent and omniscient, there would be no question of their begging from the Lord, even for so called liberation. Real liberation means going back to Godhead. Liberation, as conceived of by an impersonalist, is a myth, and begging for sense gratification has to continue eternally unless the beggar comes to his spiritual sense and realize his constitutional position. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. This is the last paragraph. Anyone wants to go?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, I can again read.
Yeah, Mataji. Let's chance to give others they wish to do. Otherwise, you can do. Anyone wants to go to this paragraph? Otherwise, Mataji can go ahead.
The purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Prabhupada ki jai. Only the Supreme Lord is self-sufficient. When the Lord Krishna appeared on the earth 5,000 years ago, He displayed His full manifestation as the personality of Godhead through His various activities. In his childhood, he killed many powerful demons such as Aghasura, Bakasura, and Saktasura, and there was no question of his having acquired such power through any extraneous endeavor. He lifted Govardhana hill without ever practicing weightlifting. He danced with the gopis without social restriction and without reproach. Although the gopis approached him with a warmest feelings of love, the relationship between the gopis and the Lord Krishna was worshipped even by Lord Chaitanya, who was a strict sannyasi and a rigid follower of disciplinary regulations. To confirm that the Lord is always pure and uncontaminated, Sri Isopanishad describes him as Sudham, antiseptic, and apapa vidhama, prophylatic. He is antiseptic in the sense that even an impure thing can become purified just by touching him. The word prophylatic refers to the power of his association, as mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 9, chapter 30, sloka 31. A devotee may appear to be Sudar, su, Sudara,
Sudachara.
not well behaved in the beginning, but he should be accepted as a pure devotee, but he should be accepted as a pure because he is on the right path. This is due to prophylatic nature of the Lord's association. The Lord is also apapa vidhama because sin cannot touch him, even if he acts in a way that appears to be sinful. Such actions are all good, for there is no question of his being affected by sin. Because in all circumstances he is Sudhama, most purified, he is often compared to the sun. The sun extracts moisture from many untouchable places on the earth, yet it remains pure. In fact, it purifies obnoxious things by virtue of its sterilizing powers. If the sun, which is a material object, is so powerful, then we can hardly begin to imagine the purifying strength on the all-powerful Lord. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for all dear devotees participated in this auspicious reading. So let's pray to Prabhupada and Guru Parampara so we can try to understand all together this the real knowledge and absolute truth. Om Ajana Yagyana Tamirandakshaya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurvanmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamarupa Kadamayan Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yatapadakamlam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sagana Raghunatha Vintam Tam Sajivam Shavidvetam Savadustam Parajana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Sri Lalita Sri Vishakha Vintam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanto Sri Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rashabhanu Shute Devi Pranamamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Seva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So let's to understand together. So what the Srila Prabhupada here giving the information for us to opening our eyes and so become a more faith and make a progress on the spiritual path. So see the first paragraph, Srila Prabhupada here differentiating that our body and Krishna's body. So how the Krishna body and what is our body? Prabhupada is saying that the Krishna's body, the our body is embodied, whichever the veins, body, and the nerve system, and we see our body, the material body, or the subtle body, and the soul, and all are different. But Prabhupada here saying, for Krishna's body is the, Prabhupada here highlighting, nor his force, his body is the, which means there's no difference between his body and soul. So he is the absolute. But we are also part and parcel of him. So we have some extent this all the things. But Krishna is completely the pure. And here's the Prabhupada saying that the soul is different from gross embodied and subtle mind. For the Supreme Lord, however, there is never any such difference between him, his body, and mind. His complete whole and his mind, body, himself are all one and the same. So this is the, like the people asking that declaring himself, oh, I become Bhagavan. They are keeping the names also, this Bhagavan, that Bhagavan. But can we, like Guru Maharaj says that always proper writing, if we ask them, can you show any the quality? Then they say, we'll say tomorrow, or you are not qualified to see those qualities. So thus they try to get the popularity from the common people. That's all their purpose. But actual Bhagavan Prabhupada is saying here, the Krishna is complete whole. He can do, we will see the next paragraph. So what the Prabhupada is saying here? Prabhupada giving the reference of Srimad Brahma Samhita. See the beauty of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is not writing any even line or text without reference. He is giving the purely reference. That's why our faith develop more and more. That is called the beauty Prabhupada. He's a genius. He's a completely realized. We should have a faith in his body. Prabhupada here saying that Brahma Samhita giving the reference, Krishna's body is Satchidanand. Our body is not Satchidanand. Krishna's body is completely full of knowledge and bliss. He does not require a separate body or mind as we do in material existence. So he's always pure. He just appears and disappears. We see that Krishna doesn't come any mother's womb like the way we come. He simply appeared and disappeared. When Krishna came in the Mathura in the jail, he didn't come the way we came. He just appeared in front of Mother Devaki and Vasudeva. And based on their desire, he transformed into the small child. So that is the Krishna's beauty. The Vedic literature state that the Lord transcendental body is completely different from ours. Thus, he sometimes describes the formless. Formless doesn't mean he doesn't have forms. He has a forms, but his forms is not like our form. He is a completely Satchidananda. That's why Prabhupada is writing sometimes. The Mayavadi says that, oh, Krishna has no forms. Krishna has a form, but we need to understand. He has a Satchidananda forms. His form not easy to conceive. This means that he has a forms like ours. His devotee form, we can conceive of it. The Brahma Samhita Prabhupada writing here again saying that further stated that each and every part of his body can work of other senses. So this is the people, like some people asking, oh, what the Krishna's body looks like. Prabhupada here saying that the Krishna can do the work from one part work he can do other part. Like we can eat by mouth, we cannot eat from other body part, but Krishna can eat from his eyes, his hand, his legs, because his body is Satchidananda, absolute. This means that the Lord can walk his hands, accept the things as his legs. See with his hands and feet, eat with eyes, extracted in the Sruti mantras. It's also stated, although the Lord has no hands and legs like us, he has different type of hands and legs by which we can accept all that we offer and run faster than anyone. This is the Krishna's, the bodily symptoms. That way we offer to Krishna by love, he accepts our offer. That's why we see the when devotee become pure, they see Krishna is hungry. They see the Bhakti Vinod Thakur. In the middle of the night, he wake up and he knows. This is they call the pure devotee. They completely situated in their real forms. They know they can talk Krishna, they can see Krishna, they can feed Krishna, they can prepare prasadam for Krishna. They know Krishna is hungry now. This is the symptoms of the pure devotion. But in the beginning, it is not possible. So if not possible, beginning does not mean Krishna has not all this quality. We cannot see them. We cannot feel those. Does not mean does not exist. Is there. How we can see? We can see through the eyes of our Acharya. He has a different type of hands. These points are confirmed in the 8 mantras through the used words of like a Sukram or omnipotent. This all the Prabhupada is giving the references just for us to develop our faith. The Brahma Samhita, both slokas indicates that the Krishna has forms, whatever we offer, he accepts it. We see the many devotees, the Krishna is reciprocate. He not just like what the way your devotion going to be more and more, your loving nature going to be increased more towards Krishna, then you will see all this exchange. He takes the food from the devotee's hand. He cries with the devotee. That is called all the symptoms we can feel. Now, third here we see how the Prabhupada writing here. Prabhupada says Krishna is formed Arch Vigraha. Now, Prabhupada saying to us, like we do the deity worship, they are worshipping the 3-4 times are the prasadam or offering to Krishna in the temple, in the home. That is called Prabhupada saying that the Lord worshipable form, Arch Vigraha, which installed in the temples by authority Acharya. There is not something somebody put in the temple his own way and then start worshipping. No. This is the authorities. Prabhupada here giving the very nice examples who have realized the Lord in terms of mantra 7. This is called that when we do the deities installation in our home or in the temple, that all mantras purifying this is all that are when we do first installation. And then Pranprastha is called Pranprastha. Is not different from the original form of the Lord. So when we say that Krishna's name, Krishna, all paraphernalia, there is no difference. All have a same potency. Krishna's name is non different from the Krishna. The Lord's original form is that Sri Krishna, and Sri Krishna expands himself into unlimited number of forms such as Baladev, Ram, Narasimha, and Varaha. Prabhupada giving you Krishna can expand himself for any forms. He can expand himself in the Archa Vigraha also. Worshipping the Archa Vigraha, one can approach the Lord who accepts the service of the devotee by his omnipotent energy. The Archa Vigraha of the Lord descended at the request of the Acharya, and holy teachers work exactly like the original way of the Lord by virtue of the Lord's omnipotence. People, Prabhupada here writing, the foolish people who have no knowledge of Sri Isopanishad or any other Shruti mantras consider the Arch Vigraha, which is worshipped by the pure devotee, to be made of material elements. This form may be seen as material by the imperfect eyes, of foolish people. Prabhupada saying that Akint or Akint Adhikaris. It's called Kanishadhikaris. Kanishadhikaris. But such people do not know that Lord beginning omnipotent and omniscient can transfer matter into spirit and spirit into matter as he desires. So this is called the potency of Krishna. We are reading this with Bhagavatam even how this whole material creation activated and deactivated. Once just Krishna glance, before this whole become matter, dull matter, this whole creation. Once Krishna glance on the material nature, then this activated. Once this material nature activated, then we see that all the living entities are activated. That's where the generations of generations keep on going on, just by the glance of Krishna. Even Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, all the living entities are by the seed. I am the seed giver fathers of all the living entities. So this is the happening by the Krishna's energy. Otherwise, this is not possible. Now here, Prabhupada is giving the example, and this is called Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari as per their realization. The beginning is the Kanishtadhikari. They are just thinking Krishna is the Murti, and as the relation progresses, they become Madhikari and Uttamadhikari. Means they feel they can exchange their love with Krishna. This is called the begin with, but the Madhyama and Uttama, they become by the slowly follow the process that which is advised by Acharya and Prabhupada. Here Srila Prabhupada giving the example of Bhagavad Gita, saying that, see the Krishna himself saying to Arjun, the Lord regrets the fallen condition of men with little knowledge who tried him because he descended like a man into this world. Such poorly informed person do not know the omnipotence of the Lord. Thus the Lord does not manifest himself in full mental speculators. He can be appreciated only proportion of one surrender to him. The fallen condition living entities due entirely forgetfulness of their relation with the God. So this is the reason we cannot feel the Krishna. Even Krishna says that in 9.11 shloka, just for reference, I'm just saying here, for the translation, the fools derived me when I descended in this human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as Supreme Lord of all that we. Krishna himself saying that to Arjun, when Arjun asking that, the other form of Krishna is easy to recognize, like a Barha, this is special. But that Shyam Sundara forms, which is the friend of Arjun, very hard to recognize him. Very, very hard. We need a lot of the practice and the devotion service to recognize Krishna in the form of human. Otherwise, people do mistake. We see the example of even Duryodhana. The same Krishna Duryodhana was thinking simply as the cow herd, the Gwala. But see the same Krishna Pandav, they know Arjun knows the absolute truth. Mahatma Vidura knows that. Bhishma Pitama knows that. And others, many knows this. But they try to their best to tell to Duryodhana, don't think Krishna is the ordinary person. But he derived by this knowledge. This knowledge is not easy to give in everybody. That's why Krishna, we see the next paragraph, how we need the mercy. Even the same form we see the Virat Rupa when Krishna approached to in the Duryodhana with his father when he was asking the spy village. What Duryodhana tried? He tried to capture him. But he couldn't do that because he never think that the Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. And even he in the Srimad Bhagavatam, even I think Mahabharata, that is also given somewhere. Duryodhana even at certain was thinking he's a special power, but something was stopping him inside to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called Krishna Leela or Krishna Maya. Without Krishna Maya or Krishna mercy, it is not possible to accept and to understand him. In the next paragraph, we will see The Prabhupada here saying that in this mantra, as we all many other Vedic mantras, clearly stated that the Lord has been supplying goods to the living entities from time immemorial. All living beings desire something, and Lord supplies the object of that desire in proportion of their qualification. So this is the qualification. How we get this qualification comes through the devotional service. That's why Krishna is supplying the food for all the living entities. We see all the animals, even in the jungle. Who's supplying the food? Who's preparing the food? The nature. Who's the nature? Krishna is supplying the food and the required things for all the living entities. The human being, especially, we see are suffering. So many because we have a no surrendering to Krishna. We want to be independent and we want to enjoy more. That's why among all the creatures, humans only suffering so much. But other creatures are supported and dependent on the nature. That's why they're surviving very easily. Did we see any time like a financial crisis for the other living entities in the jungle? They easily, the food is easily available for them. There were no financial crisis. There were nothing that kind of crisis. But this crisis comes for us only because we are collecting so much for coming generations. Even we don't know we will live tomorrow or not. But see the collection too much for the coming of generations, even those generations not yet manifested. This is our the nature. That's why the human is suffering very hard. And Prabhupada is saying that if a man wants to be high court judge, he must acquire not only the necessary qualification but also consent of authority who can award the title of high court judge. Somebody cannot say, okay, I become the lawyer, I complete the lawyer degree, now I become judge, and declare himself and sit in the court. No, he has to go through the process. He has to be recommended or awarded by somebody based on his propensities. The qualifications themselves are insufficient for one to occupy the post. It must be awarded by some superior authority. Similarly, Lord award enjoyment to living entities in proportion of their qualification. See, this is the root cause. Whatever the qualification, if we have the more hankering toward the spiritual knowledge, Krishna supplying that. And if we are more hankering to the material nature, or we want to enjoy more the sense gratification, then Krishna making those kind of arrangement. That's why we are finding that kind of circle or association. So Krishna is so merciful. Whatever the desire we have, he is accordingly awarding us. But good qualifications themselves are not sufficient to enable one to receive award. The mercy of the Lord is also required. Prabhupada here clearly saying that without the mercy of the God, it is not possible. That's why we see we are changing the body. Why we are changing the bodies one after other? Only the attachment and desire. Based on the propensity of the desires, the Krishna arranging the next body. That's why Lord Kapila, the Mother Devhuti asking the definition of the death to Lord Kapila in the fourth canto. Lord Kapila says that the death means you are ceasing your current activities and based on your desire, you are going to be taken the next body for enjoy your desires. That's why we are stopping this body that is called death and now go to the new body based on our desire. Krishna supplying that kind of things that is called death. Stop these activities, now prepare for the next activity because we want to enjoy. That's what is called death. Now in this paragraph, next paragraph, Prabhupada is saying here, ordinary living beings does not know what to ask from the Lord, nor which post to seek. When living beings comes to know the constant position, however, he has to accept the transcendental association, the Lord in order to render transcendental loving service unto him. Unfortunately, living beings under the influence of material nature ask for many other things, and they are described in Bhagavad Gita 241. Having divided or split intelligence, spiritual intelligence is one, but mundane intelligence is diverse. See the 241 Prabhupada here, writing in the translation. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of Kuru, the intelligence of those who are irresolute in many branched. So this is called Vivasayatmaka Buddhi. Whatever our desires, whatever we are think, that's why we have a, until unless we are not fixing our mind for the Krishna service, the lack of the knowledge and the lack of the desires or the spiritual progress keep us binding back forth and back forth and back. That's why Prabhupada was saying that if he wants to go back to Godhead, the Lord helps us. Lord help us both. If you want to go hell, he will arrange with that also, because we will get that kind of association, the nature and the same qualities. We absorb them and we avoided by them, and accordingly we will go. In the 7th chapter, Krishna says that clearly what you do is your destiny. You will go accordingly. Here Prabhupada reconfirm here saying that Krishna is helping us to go to hell also, and Krishna helping us to go to back to God based on the propensities and based on our desire. See the next paragraph Prabhupada saying here. God is described here, Paribhuhu, the greatest of all. No one is greater than or equal to him. The Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita also to Arjuna, no one is equal to me and no one is greater than. Other living beings are described here as beggars who seek goods from the Lord. The Lord supplies the things the living entity desires. That's why Prabhupada is saying that some people are declaring themselves, keeping their name Bhagavan and looking the liberation and asking the goods from the God. But they don't realize who is actually the suppliers. You cannot become equal to Krishna. If that is the case, then why you have a desire and why you are asking some higher authority? That if they are keeping name like that, they can create the universes, or they can fulfill their desire. They become an Atmaram, but still they are approaching to some authority, but they are not ready to accept that. That is called the problem. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. They are the beggar, but they are not ready to accept they are beggar. Now next paragraph here, Sri Prabhupada opening all of our eyes, and this is the good news also for all of us. See that here, only the Supreme Lord is self-sufficient. When Lord Krishna appeared on the earth 5,000 years ago, he displayed his full manifestation as personality of God, though his various activities. In his childhood, he killed many powerful demons, such as Agasura, Bakasura, and Saptasura, and so many. And there was no question of his having acquired his power through his extraneous endeavors. He lifted Govardhan Hill without ever practicing weightlifting. He danced with the gopis without social restrictions and without approach. Although the gopis approached him with the paramorous feelings of love. The relationship between the gopis and Lord Krishna was worshipped even by Lord Chaitanya, who was strict sannyasi, rigid follower of the disciplinary regulations. So here Srila Prabhupada is saying that the Krishna's activities are divyam, and it is not possible for the living being to do, imitate, or to repeat them. Can somebody lift the Govardhan hill? No, it is not possible. Just Krishna was the few months, few years old only, he did this all activities. Even Krishna C. Prabhupada saying that based on our desire, Krishna helping us. Even some to see the Krishna's mercy, whatever we did the previous life, the next life we forget it. That is mercy. Otherwise, we remember that what we did, we cannot live this life nicely. So here in Prabhupada's writing here is not possible for the ordinary living beings, as well as in the person who acquired the power by the bhakti. He cannot also repeat this. Even he himself not declared, I am the God. That is called the beauty of the devotional service. He simply says that I am the servant of the Krishna. Lord Chaitanya also was saying that this is the loving exchange between the gopis and appreciated by Lord Chaitanya, even though he was strict sannyasi. He was keeping a distance from the Matajis. Does not mean like the distance is spiritual platform. This is confirmed that Lord is always pure and uncontaminated. Sri Isopanishad describes him, Sudam, antiseptic or apapavedam. He is antiseptic in the sense that even impure things cannot become purified just by touching him. Sometimes we say, the good news that like some devotee says that mostly the come in the background, they non-vegetarian or they used to eat the meat. They're thinking, oh, we did so many papa, this and that. Can we do Krishna's bhakti? Krishna can accept it. So see that this is a good news, Prabhupada saying that even the impure, no matter how you are impure, even the Bhagavad Gita Krishna saying that even dog eaters, we see the 930 sloka, even the heinous pap or something that even not excusable, that kind of activities. But the person engaged in the devotional service of the Krishna, he should be considered as a Mahat. Because Krishna knows that once he follows this path, slowly, day one, his heart going to be purified. So we should not worry, oh, we used to before non-veg, we used to do this and that. The moment we engage in the Krishna service, this is the power of the Krishna service and association. We see the 930 sloka. This is the very good news for all of us. Krishna says that even if one commits the most abominable action, not even minor mistake, most abominable, if he engage in the devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in determination. See the Krishna's mercy. Can somebody do that? If somebody did so many bad things with us and comes to us, pardon me, is easy to do that? No, saying is easy. But see the Krishna is so merciful, even no matter what kind of background the previous life he has. The moment he started bhakti, this is the effect of the bhakti that slowly all anarthas going away. Because this is like that fire. If you touch the fire, either iron, pure iron or dirty iron, the fire nature is to make it heat. This is the nature of the fire. Whoever come in the contact become the hot. Same thing, the bhakti, the symptoms of the Krishna's name and the preference and the Krishna's quality. Whoever take the shelter of this, his name or his all the Krishna says that Janam Karam Chayame Divyam. His all the Leelas, his name is the Divyam. This is the symptoms of their name become like the fire, become the heart. Whoever come in the contact, same thing. The Krishna's qualities make us purifies no matter in which mood or in which intention we came with. That's why the Krishna confirm in the Bhagavad Gita. Akam sarva kamo. Bhakti. If you have the desire, any kind of desire, just approach the Krishna. Because he is the seed giver, father of all of us. He knows that what is good for us, what is not good for us. That's our job to just worship him and see the effect. That's what Prabhupada is saying here. In the beginning, but we should be accept a pure because he is in our right path. This is due to the prophylactic nature of the Lord association. The Lord is also apapa vidam because sin cannot touch him. Even he acts in a way that appears to be sinful. Such actions are all good, for there is no question of his being affected by sin. because all the circumstances is Sudham, he is pure. Nobody can make him pure. Even no matter what you did in previous life or previous few years back, the moment we simply accept Krishna, I'm your child, you are my father. So far I was separated from you. Now I'm ready to accept you. Please give me your mercy. See the Krishna is so merciful. If simply by simple prayer, Prabhupada said that I remember one incident, somebody asked Prabhupada, how long will it take to become a pure devotee or the devotee of Krishna? Prabhupada says it's just second. And this is given even the 18th chapter. Krishna says just second. Somebody says that I'm your child, I made so many mistakes, I realize now you are my father, please accept me and engage in the devotional service. Krishna immediately, not even without with immediately means just fraction of second, Krishna give you his mercy. But this acceptance should come from the heart. And we should not repeat those mistakes again and again. This is called apara. This is called the practice. Then we are doing the business with Krishna and thinking that Krishna is the big businessman. If we try to cheat him or try to business with him, he's a big businessman. We see the history. So many Krishna is a cheater bigger than any cheaters. So he is a supreme father. He knows past, present, and future. Just accept him by heart and surrender to him. This is very, very easy and simple. Thank you so much, dear devotees. I'm stopping now. If I say something wrong or something, please correct me. I'm also learning like you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments, any questions, any reflection?
Very nice class, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mother.
Right.
Yeah, so Mr. Prabhuji, please you take.
Thank you so much for a wonderful class. Nicely going through the purport of Srila Prabhupada and the details of what Srila Prabhupada meant for it. Nicely explaining. Thank you so much. So, dear devotees, today is Jagadish. It's called Pastor Jagadish. It's very good to have some discussions, and anybody would like to have some realizations. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, it says that when devotees comes together, Machchida Madgata Prana Bodhayanda Parasparam Kadayandischa Mam Nityam Tushyandi Jaramandi. Machchida Madgata Prana, my dear devotees, when they comes together, they would discuss among each other, and then they derive great pleasure. Tushyandi Jaramandi. Bodhayanda Parasparam, they discussed about these spiritual matters, spiritual topics. Then they derive such a spiritual bliss. It's very important that always this way we can purify our heart. We can be conscious of Krishna all the time. And this is the way that we are always in union, always in conscious of Krishna. So that's the purpose of our life. Please go ahead if you have any realizations, reflections that we can discuss together. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving me a chance to, say something, though even I'm not qualified, just I try my best to share some.
You're well qualified. Thank you. Anybody has anything to add?
I have one question regarding Garas. In Garas, we don't eat grains, but we can eat all kind of vegetables, or we can only eat certain vegetable. Like in our sampradaya, we are not supposed. We are only can eat potatoes and sweet potatoes and dudi, but we cannot eat other vegetables. So I want to clarify in that what we do here.
Mr. Prabhuji, please go ahead.
On Ekadashi, you mean, Mataji?
Yes, yes,
Today,
in
right?
Ekadasi.
Yeah, there are various ways that one can take up this Ekadashi. Depends on their the consciousness, the mood. Some devotees and some people say, okay, we can't even take anything other than water. Or somebody takes no water, no jala, something, only fruits. Some says, okay, only these kinds of vegetables. Some says, okay, no roots. Some says, nothing other than just cooked raw. Some say, okay, just cook something in the steam. There are so many thoughts like that, ways of. But your answer to your question is certain roots, certain the food which is in the mode of ignorance is avoided, especially on the Ekadashi day. Which is you are not supposed to eat, even if it is vegetables which is cooked more than 3 hours, or certain kinds of which is too sour, too hot, and pungent, and all those types of food we should avoid. It is recommended that if one can sustain Ekadashi just by the fruits, water, that's the ideal. Or if you are not able to fast on Ekadashi day without eating one time a day or something, that is without grains and the beans, so you can have some vegetables or steamed vegetables without any beans or anything like that. So those you can have. Yes, potato you can have, sweet potatoes, yes, you can have that, and like that. The main purpose of Ekadashi is not that we are conscious of what we eat. Yes, we should follow these regulations, but not that. That's secondary. Actually, that's a secondary secondary requirement of it. The most important requirement for Ekadashi or Upavas is that we should be more conscious of the Supreme Lord. We should be in union with the Krishna, union with the Supreme.
Krishna consciousness more than
Conscious more than. Otherwise, we will be, prasadam conscious, not Krishna conscious.
Right.
Right. So that's most important on Ekadashi. For Upavas, we take this Upavas, it's near to the Lord. Upavas. Sit very close to the Lord. So that means we can, that's the main purpose. It's mentioned that on Ekadashi, we should chant more rounds, 16 rounds. We should chant 25 rounds minimum on Ekadashi. Why? Because of this is the very Ekadashi is a day of the Lord, the Supreme Lord. On this day, the sin personifications, since sins are all take shelter of the grains and the. So one who doesn't observe the Ekadashi, they are accumulating more sin on this day, on top of all the other sins. So the devotees, those who understand this, and of course, this is the day for one can engage more in devotion so that they can also get more mercy of the Lord. So Prabhuji was speaking today about the mercy of the Lord. So how one can attain the mercy of the Lord is, unless we have the mercy of the Lord, we cannot progress in our spiritual realization. We'll be still stuck with our bodily conceptions of life, or mental or sensual conceptions of life, that we think that, okay, just to satisfy all these body, senses, mind, intelligence is the purpose of the life. But only one who comes to more mercy of the devotees and the Lord can go beyond this modes of material nature and come to the transcendental plane. When one who comes to the transcendental plane only, that we can situate, that's our real nature. Everything else is a covered, what is called impure nature. Our pure nature is our transcendental nature. So in order to come to that pure transcendental nature, we have to do all these things. Yes, rules and regulation is necessary. Otherwise, we cannot mix with everything. So this is a very stringent process. Like just for an example, if you want to become a good fighter, you have to practice and you have to go through certain steps and the processes. We want to become a good shooter. So you have to practice that arrow like Dronacharya, how taught to Arjuna. So like that, you want to become a best, skater. You have to practice it with the certain procedures and rules and regulations. So this is to give us to become more expert or more champions in our process of bhakti. So then it takes us to that level, like yoga siddhis, even Ashtanga yogas. There are many achieved these Ashtanga yogas or yoga siddhis. Why? They go through that rules and regulation and the strict practices. So then they come to that stage of siddhi, then they can attain the siddhi. And just for an example of a doctor gives medicine to a patient. So when you follow that, the doctor's, the instructions, then he can overcome his diseased conditions. So why? The rules are 2 times tablets every day. Don't do this. And then what happens? Then you can control our bodily things, and then it reduces the diseases. So like that, these rules and regulations mainly to bring more, focus more, so we get purified our senses, mind, intelligence, and this is the way we can come out of our material clutches. Then we come to that point of transcendental plane. That's where that's our real nature. So this helps all those. So that's the main purpose of Upavas, Ekadashi. All this is for connect always ourselves with the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Prabhuji, correct me if I'm wrong. One time, I think, just to adding to that.
Yes, please.
One time, some devotee was doing the Nirjala during the path, and they would feel so tired, not able to chant properly and not doing proper the seva. Then Prabhupada told them, eat and then engage in the service. If you cannot do this, the fasting, you cannot do the seva, better you eat and do the fasting. So, do the seva.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yes, that's correct. See, sometimes we stuck with, there are two things. Rupa Goswami says, Niyamagraha and Niyama Agraha. Two things are actually. See, it says that, Atyahara Prayasascha Ajalpa Niyamagraha. Right? There are two things Rupa Goswami says that. One is Niyama Agraha, Niyama Agraha. Niyama Agraha means we are not following the rules and regulations. Another Niyama Agraha means we are always conscious of these rules and regulations. Both are actually impediments of, our devotional processes. Sometimes, today is Jagadish, I'm going to do Nirjala Ekadashi. What happens? You are not practiced that. One day you decided, whimsically, I'm going to do the Nirjala Ekadashi, after 11 o'clock, after 12 o'clock, we are so thirsty and hungry, and then your conscience is, how can somehow I should finish this? Because I took the vows. So where is the devotion? So then our consciousness is polluted, or everything is polluted. Now we are more tired, focused and conscious of more on the eating or drinking, and always thinking, when this will over, when this will get over. No. Prabhupada says that if we have likes that, and if you are not comfortable with it, then don't take it. So whatever is comfortable that we can follow and do that. Yes, sometimes we say, one time eating a habit, one time eating a day, that. Also, when we start with this this Ekadashi fasting, and we pray to the Lord, please give us the mercy and Shakti so that I can continue. With that consciousness also we get empowered, and then we don't feel that, okay, anything to eat or anything to do other than Krishna. But some people does it. I know that many people does the Nirjala Ekadashi, and they were doing for many years. I used to do for until some point of time in Nirjala Ekadashi. I was very happy, very, very good, no problem. But then after I got married, and after that, all those things, and then there were so many things, I couldn't do that. Then I do in between sometimes. Okay, then I can manage that. Sometimes, yes, it comes to that point. So only those feel comfortable to do that, then you can do that. I mean, it's good because of its penance. As well as this reduces our intakes. And the main purpose of reducing the eating is actually, the moment you eat, it's actually pollute our consciousness, because of body goes to that, and it creates more energy in the body, and then the mind and thought process, everything changes, and then we feel sleepy and so many things. But when you are not practiced, and you're feeling that I need to eat and I'm so tired, that then you should eat, and then go for the bhakti, go for chanting, situate nicely, so that our mind is not diverted, mind is not disturbed. Otherwise, what happens? Mind easily get disturbed, and then go away our mind away from that pure Krishna consciousness. Yes, definitely Srila Prabhupada recommends that those who are not able to do that, eat or drink, and then go for chanting and purely, no matter what. Yep. Yeah, very good. You brought that point, Vash. Anything else? Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
One question, just generic, like for fasting, like fruits are recommended, but not the vegetables and grains. Any specific reason, like garlic, onion, we understand, but vegetables and sometimes even like dairy products like milk and yogurt also, like not preferred for fasting. So just trying to understand any like specific reason or logic behind that.
Basically, it's mentioned that yes, there are paneers and so heavy, like food. These are all heavy food, right?
Oh, digestion. Okay. Metabolism or digestion problems. So fruits preferred. Okay.
Yes, those fruits preferred for that, and not all the vegetables. There are certain vegetables and not recommended because of its, again, not to be so heavy. Eat so heavy, on the Ekadashi day, and then completely mind polluted. Doesn't help for our sadhana. So this, and that's what is even it's mentioned that everything, our eating habit should be like that. That's why the Bhagavatam, Krishna himself recommends that we should eat the swatik mode of is in the mode of goodness. Yes, milk product dairies are all in the mode of goodness. Yes, we can eat that, but not it's not really recommended. But milk is recommended on the Ekadashi, but not so heavy like paneer and those heavy things. It's not recommended.
Yeah, understood, Prabhuji. Sometimes even just asking helps quickly.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Anybody else? Devotees? Everybody's tired?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then with Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I would like to know something about Vaman Dev and Srila Jiva Goswami. The appearance day. Today is the appearance day of both of them, no? Prabhuji?
Today, yeah, that's very true. And tomorrow is the Vamana Dadashi. Tomorrow is the appearance of Lord Vamana.
Oh, okay.
And today is Ekadashi. Let me confirm that.
In the calendar, it's mentioned that fast till noon for Lord Vaman Dev. That's why I asked the question.
That is
Is
true.
that- yeah.
You're right. Today is Ekadasi, tomorrow is Bhavan. The fasting till noon.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji.
And why we are doing that fasting today? Because of usually we are not recommended the Dwadashi for fasting, right? So tomorrow's fasting we'll also do it today. That's why we say full fasting till noon or Paraha Dwadashi.
Okay, Prabhuji. So can you just glorify a few lines of Vaman Dev, Prabhuji, please?
Simha Prabhu, you want to take that?
No, please go ahead. Even I want to hear.
Wow. Okay. Just I will yeah. So Wednesday is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day, and Vamana Dwadashi appearance of Lord Vamana Dev is tomorrow, and then Thursday is Srila Haridas Thakur's disappearance day, and 29th Friday is Bhadra Purnima, the appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this entire week is full of very auspicious, special days, very powerful days that one can very focused and conscious of the Supreme Lord and remembering all of this great personality. So unless we have their mercy, then we cannot progress. So that's why it's very important. So they are very merciful. They are very merciful. Even spiritual master, devotees, guru, great personalities like Jiva Goswami, Haridas Thakur, taking shelter of all these great personalities, really transform us. It's very important. That's the reason for all this. So we heard about all this, right? Suppose when we were in India, we heard about America. But when we came here to the America, then only we really understood, oh, this is America. There are so many varieties of things here. So like that, spirituality, we heard it. But when we reach there only that we will really understand what exactly the depth and the breadth of this real spiritual nature. So that we can have only through the mercy of great personalities, great devotees. So they will take us over there. Spiritual master is a boatman. He take us to the other side of the ocean. Yes, it's very powerful. So we always be very grateful and always be very prayerful for these great personalities when they remember them and their contribution, their devotion, and their entire pastimes. They are not ordinary souls as well. It's very important that all these days you remember them and worship them. This is the devotion. This is actually called the devotion. Anything else other than, okay, I don't want, I don't care, that's not devotion. I just only do this thing, these things. It's not devotion. Okay, so with the request of Madaji, the Vamana Dwadashi, so we all know that Lord is appeared, Lord Vamana Dev as a son of mother Aditi and Kashyapa Dev, Kashyapa Manu. Aditi and Kashyapa Manu. Why Lord appeared? Lord Vamana Dev appeared. So in order to reduce this, the greed, in order to suppress the greed, so we all have this kind of mentality, I should have everything. So I am the proprietor of everything. So I should completely control everything. So we have this nature of proprietorship. We have this nature of, ownership. We have the nature of this self-centeredness. Doesn't matter how others suffers, no matter what. So however, whatever the way I can be satisfied, I can be controlled, I can be conquered, then I'll be so happy. This is illusion. This is misrepresenting this or misusing our free will. So when we are so much into that, then Lord comes. So Lord Vamanadev appeared like that. when Bali Maharaj was performing the sacrifices. So Virochana was the father of Bali Maharaj, and Virochana conquered the Indralok. In retaliation, Nindra and Devadas also defeated Virochana and killed. And Bali Maharaj then took a vow that I would complete the 100 horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha, 100 horse sacrifice, so that I can eternally and ever, I would become the conquered the Indralok and the devotees, and I would be more powerful, and then never then I would be always, I will have this, the position of Indra, the king of heaven. So then Bali Maharaj started this sacrifices, and then 99 sacrifices are done, completed. One more is left. And then that time, the Lord understood, and this is the time. Then also the again retaliation, and then now Devadas doesn't even have a home to stay. They don't have a place to stay. They are wandering around, and they are seeing that Bali Maharaj is doing this, and they pray to the Lord. And then Lord appeared before the son of Kashyapa Muni and mother Aditi. That's why Lord is known as Vamanadeva is known as Vendra, the brother of Indra. Indra is the son of Mother Aditi. So then it was a beautiful description of the Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm just putting it in a very short. And Lord Vamanadeva appeared as a very effulgent, little dwarf boy, not so high, little dwarf boy. As soon as Vamanadeva Lord appeared before them as their son, they were so jubilant, and everybody came. Lord Shiva came, Lord Brahma came. Everybody offered little articles. Lord Brahma gave this umbrella, and the sacred thread gives Lord Shiva, and the dress given by Lord Indra. So they all knew that this is none other than the Supreme Lord. So now Vamanadev started to go to the palace of the Bali Maharaj, where he was very jubilant there, and he was now the king of emperor of the entire world. So Bali Maharaj came there, and as a Brahmana boy, said off Brahmana boy with just like a kamantalu in his hand, an umbrella, and a little chadar. That's what is all the dress of Vamanadev. So Bali Maharaj saw this as a Brahman came in front of me, and Bali Maharaj was also because of the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, right? Bali Maharaj was also a devotee of the Lord, and a grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, and then understood that I should worship and respect the Brahman boy. So he got up from the seat and offered his reverence and obeisances, and very kindly spoken. Brahman Devada, you are most welcome. Please come and be seated. How can I serve you? Please ask me. Whatever I can, I will give you. Your presence blessed me. I was doing this yajna, and your presence blessed me. So I'm so pleased, your presence. Please ask me whatever you like. So then Vamanadev pleased, and then very smilingly said, "Oh, King Bali, very pleased with you. I don't want much things. I'm a small Brahman. All I need is actually a place where I can sit. All I need is 3 footsteps of land. That's what is all I need." So then Bali Maharaj was, no, I can give you a lot. So this is also another, and that means we have this sense of proprietorship, ownership, that I can do so many things because of come from our sense selfish ego. No, I can give you so much. I can give you everything that I have. I can give you more and ask me more. I have so much. I have so much I can. So just Vamanadev smiled. No, I just need only 3 footsteps of land. So in this time, Shukracharya understood this is not none other than the Supreme Lord Vishnu. So then anything that which, there is a custom that we take a vow before we make a promise or then make a vow. How do we make a vow? That we take some little water and then that water through the water and we make a vow, then that considered as when we are making a vow to the entire cosmos, then that cannot be changed. So this is the time now Bali Maharaj wanted to pour the water to make that promise. This time Shukracharya was the Asura Guru, mentioned to Bali Maharaj, no, don't do this. You don't know who came in front of you. This is Lord Vishnu himself to take away everything from you. So then Bali Maharaj was completely, understood, but Bali Maharaj didn't even move an inch from his decision. Said, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm the grandson of Prahlad. Lord also appeared before my grandfather. I'm so fortunate. Lord is appeared before me. How fortunate I am. So this is the devotee. This is the way devotee thinks. Then what happened? Shukracharya got very much angry. And Shukracharya cursed the Bali Maharaj that you will lose everything because of you disrespect my words. So Srila Prabhupada also writes in the purport, if even Guru gives the words against to attain the Supreme Lord, such Guru can be rejected. This the time also Shukracharya thought that I'm also going to lose everything. Then Shukracharya somehow tried to stop this, throwing the water out or putting the water out, and entered in the mystic yoga. Through that, he entered into the funnel of that water pot, to obstruct the water not to come out. Then he started to pour the water is not coming out. Then Vamanadev took a little grass and put it through the funnel of it, and it hit on the eye of Shukracharya. That's why Shukracharya got, lost the vision of one eye. Then Shukracharya just disappeared from there. And now Bali Maharaj took that vow. And then Bali Maharaj said, okay, please ask me and put your step so that I can give you that. So Vamanadev now started to grow like a huge, completely covered this entire universe. We can imagine that. He just put his one step and that covered the entire earthly and heavenly planets. And then second step, complete earthly planet. And second step, he completely covered the heavenly sphere of this or cosmos. That's where that time the Lord is known as Trivikrama. Trivikrama, another name of the Lord is called Trivikrama. Why he got this name? Because of his Trivikrama. Vikrama means his extraordinary heroism, power. And so this is the time the Lord extended his leg, Trivikrama, and his nails pierced the covering of these heavenly planets. And that's the time the mother Ganges then flowed down to the earth and came down to the earth. And then it's actually then flowed through the heavenly planets then it's called the border of material universe, called the Viraja River. And it's actually beyond that boundary, it's actually hit that. And then Mother Ganges came down to the heavenly planets, and then Bhagirath brought from the heavenly planets to the earthly planet. So then the third step, Vamanadev asked, you promised me to give third step. Where should I put my third step? So then Bali Maharaj then thought for a minute. Bali Maharaj said, it said that one's own body is considered as one's own property that cannot claim anybody else. So you can put your third steps on my head. So this is the time Lord put that third steps on the head of Bali Maharaj. And then Vamanadev completely very much pleased that surrender that you can take. By these two steps, Bali Maharaj, so Vamanadev took everything from Bali Maharaj. And then Supreme Lord put and completely surrendered in front of the Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj sat down, bowed down, and said to Lord Vamanadev, please put the third steps on the Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj came down to the Patala Loka, came down to the Patala. And there are 7 planetary systems below the earth. Came to the bottom plane of this Patala Loka. Before Lord put that, Lord was so pleased with Bali Maharaj and mentioned to Bali Maharaj that I'm so pleased with you. You have surrendered everything. That's why Bali Maharaj is the embodiment of surrenderness. Embodiment of surrender. He is completely surrendered to the Lord. Lord is so pleased. Lord promised that. Okay, no worries. I would give you a place, and you were doing all this for heavenly kingdom and all this, you were doing all sacrifices for all this. I would fulfill your desire. I will give you a place, a plane where more beautiful and opulence than heavenly planes. That is meant for the Devadas, that they are about their home. You are not supposed to take that. We are not supposed to take anything or anybody else's property. So then, Lord also mentioned that not only that, I'm so pleased with you, with your surrenderness, and I would become your gatekeeper. I would serve you as your gatekeeper of that beautiful kingdom. And then Bali Maharaj went there, and the Lord became the gatekeeper of Bali Maharaj. The devotees, this is the mercy of the Lord. So Lord, very powerful. Lord is very merciful in all respects. And Bali Maharaj is completely delivered also. And then after that, it's mentioned that Bali Maharaj is going to become the Manu of, and also Bali Maharaj also will have the position of an Indra. Because of this was the desire, the Lord will fulfill all those. Dhruva Maharaj was like that. Dhruva Maharaj had a desire in his heart to have a kingdom greater than Brahmadev. The Lord fulfilled that desire and gave that the same kingdom of Lord, that Shirodaksha, Swadadeep, that became the Dhruva Lok later to Dhruva Maharaj. Even though we have some desire, Krishna will fulfill no matter what. But also at the same time, when we have this loving devotion to Krishna, that's the ultimate. So everything else is actually to teach us this. Ultimate of is actually that we should be completely surrender unto Krishna, rather than accumulating and accumulating and accumulating everything in this world and enjoy on that top of it. That's not the purpose of our life, but the purpose of our life is nothing but to surrender everything unto Krishna. Krishna is so pleased with that. And as that we can see that Krishna would personally come and serve such devotees. And as you can, so appearance of Vamanadev signifies this surrenderness and the mercy of the Lord. So thank you so much.
Prabhu, quick question, Prabhu. Friday, is it the first day of speaking of Bhagavad Gita or the last day when you say Advent?
Advent of Bhagavad Gita, yes.
No, Bhagavatam.
Sorry, yeah, Advent of Bhagavatam. The appearance of Srimad Bhagavatam. right? So yeah, I mean that's the day where so they compiled the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay, thank you.
Yesterday, yeah, and okay, anything else? It is okay, Madaji, Suman Madaji.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. It was a very nice story, though it takes long time, but it was seriously very nice story. So actually, my question is, why Lord has to come for for asking for the land and this thing, Prabhuji? Everything was okay. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, why Lord came, right?
Uh-huh.
Lord is so merciful. Lord wanted to give, first of all, to fulfill the desires of Mother Aditi and Kashyapa. They wanted the Supreme Lord as their son. And so to fulfill that, the first desires of the devotee. Second, also, Prahlad Maharaj, Lord promised to Prahlad Maharaj that I'll protect you or your 21 generations of, the family, and I'll protect you. I'll save you, I'll protect you. Lord also wanted to fulfill that. So Bali Maharaj is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. And the other aspect of it that Lord always comes to save the pious, personally comes. Like for an example, there was this same question asked Akbar to Birbal. The Lord can do, he's all powerful. He can just, put himself, why he want to take a risk and come down. So Akbar asked Birbal, why Lord is coming down personally like this? So Birbal didn't ask and replied anything. He was looking for a proper time to answer that. So one day Birbal made a plan and told to Akbar that, okay, Akbar, let's go for a trip. You have to cross the Sarai River. They arranged a boat and you can bring your family and children and I'll be also there and you will also have servants. They all got on the boat and they went, rows and rows started to row. And when it came to the mid of this river, then Birbal said to Akbar that, okay, one of your child is fall down into the water. And this time what happened, Birbal had made a very exact similar doll, similar to that one of the daughter of Akbar. He put that in the water and he saw that something is falling down. Birbal said to Akbar, Akbar, your child is fall down into the water, fell into the water. So then Akbar immediately jumped down into the water. And then he took out what is fell into the water, and it was kind of a dummy doll. So Akbar told to Birbal, what did you do? So Birbal said, I said when your daughter is fall into the water, and you could have sent one of your soldiers out in the water to rescue her. But you yourself jumped down into the water because of you have such a love for your daughter. So you had to personally save her because of the love that Akbar had for his daughter. That's why you jumped into the water. So Birbal said, you asked me a question, remember, some time ago? Why Lord comes down into this earth? Lord can send his servants, he can make so many other arrangements. When Lord has such a love for their children, Lord comes personally down to this and to protect personally. This is out of love and compassion for his. That's why he's known as Bhakta Vatsala. He wanted to fulfill the desires of his devotees. He comes down personally. And all the sages and the devotees, they were very pious devotees of the Lord, pure devotees of the Lord. He wanted to personally come and rescue them, and also same time to fulfill the desires of the devotee. Bali Maharaj was devotee of the Lord, and personally, the Lord gives that mercy to his devotees. That's why Lord is coming down personally.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Anything else? Would Simha Prabhu want to add? Please go ahead.
You explained so nicely, so details. Approach is Bali Maharaj going to be a next Manvantara? I think in which Manvantara are you going to take that?
Yeah, I think in the next Manvantara, yes. Yeah. They become a Manu, and then they'll also have all these positions. If they take a turn, actually, everybody take a turn for each. Rishabhadev become Manu. Narasimhadev also come as Manu. And also they take the positions of Indra when the Manu changes. They all take different positions. Yeah, there is in the 14 Manus, and it's mentioned that who is going to be who. Okay. Okay then, dear devotees, thank you so much. It's nice to be on Jagadish day, very auspicious day of Jagadish.
Yeah, very nice. We covered Ekadasi and Dwadasi also. So
we covered both days together.
Yeah.
Okay, and as mentioned that the devotees, this Friday is Bhadra Purnima, very auspicious day, and not only that, this is the day of the Srimad Bhagavatam, but also very auspicious day in so many other ways. And it's mentioned that one who engage in the devotion on this particular day of Bhadra Purnima, one can eradicate, there any kind of doshas there in their life. The forefathers can be very much pleased if you offer the oblations to the forefathers or engage in the devotion in the name of ancestors, fathers. One can perform various on this called Pitru Paksha, this starting from Bhadra Purnima till October 14. It's known as Pitru Paksha. This day is Pitru Paksha when is missed any kind of shraddha or any kind of offerings to the forefathers. Anybody, they can all do that. So this way they'll be all pleased, and then then they will shower their mercy upon us. Then we'll be free from all this material, different kinds of suffering. So these are all wonderful things that we can do, and especially this, distribute Srimad Bhagavatam on this day. The most powerful is mentioned that one can attain the abode of Supreme Lord just by doing this. And also we'll be having yajna at the temple on Friday, so please join, and everybody can participate, very auspicious, and chant the holy name and participate in yajna and get the mercy of the Lord. And we'll be having Bhagavatam yajna on Friday, starting at 7:30. Okay.
Basically, like one question, somebody Srimad Bhagavatam for them as their capacity little expensive, but specifically which the kind of you want to recommend him, which is the kind of we should say, okay, you don't want to take the whole Bhagavatam, but at least take some this particular kind.
It's yeah, I mean, we don't like each Bhagavatam is considered as Bhagavan himself. The first two canto is considered as the lotus feet of soul of Krishna, the Lord. Right. The third canto is considered as the lotus feet of Krishna. Then fourth and fifth, the thighs, 7, and the belly, and 8 and 9 is the hands of the Lord, and the 10th canto is considered as the lotus face of the Lord. 11th canto is considered as the head of the Lord, and 12th. So this is the way Srimad Bhagavatam is. It's considered as. So there are Bhagavatam in a condensed version, but we don't have that. It's summarized in one copy of it. just slokas and just, little translation of the slokas. So yes, one can take that lotus feet in the beginning, and I would recommend maybe we have that Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto, the first part. Srila Prabhupada published that. One can also have Krishna book also in this. It's also the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So either of this we can distribute and give on the golden throne. But recommend, one should have the entire Bhagavatam set as Krishna. Okay.
Yes, sir. So do we have the golden this one in this?
Yeah, we do have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada published Krishna book, that's the 10th canto, the entire 10th canto. And also the first canto, first part, Srila Prabhupada published, so that also can give us a gift. Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
No problem. Anything else? We can conclude then today's class, today's session.
Yep.
Thank you, dear devotees, and everybody wish you a happy Ekadashi. And the fast breaking time tomorrow is 6:47 to 10:47 a.m. tomorrow morning. Okay. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Let's conclude. Vancha kalpatarubhashya. Krupā sindhubhyo ca patitānaṁ pāvanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Jai Srimad Isopanishad ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Gaudiya Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Jagadish Prabhu. It was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.